Welcome to Urogynecology and Pelvic Healthcare. First of all, thank you very much for giving so much of love to us. So today we are with the topic prolapse. During a residency, pelvic organ prolapse knowledge is restricted operative part to vaginal hysterectomy and anterior and posterior repair with Meckel cholecystoplasty. But wall prolapse or asymptomatic cases or in which procedures to combine the apical suspension procedures. This all topics are less talked and taught in our residency periods. Yes, very true. So today we are going to discuss about the surgical management part of the pelvic organ prolapse. So when it comes, especially when it comes to the wall prolapse, we have some common procedures like high uteral ligament suspension, bilateral sacrospinous fixation, pectinopexy, colpoly, foot colpopexis, sacrocolpopexy, iliococcygis ligament fixation, and many more. So these are the procedures. But when we think about high uteral ligament suspension, the first name which comes to our mind is none other than Dr. Uma Rani Swain. Yes, and today we just got lucky to have with us ma'am. Ma'am, welcome to the Urogynecology and Pelvic Healthcare Clinic. Hi. So, ma'am, let's start with a very basic pelvic organ prolapse. When the patient comes with a complaint of prolapse, but we are not able to see that prolapse in the normal dorsal position, patient complains that something is coming out, she's having difficulty in walking, and we are not able to. Then, what next? How to examine or how to proceed further?
Thank you. Thank you for having me with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Regarding prolapse, I am dealing this case since more than 20 years or so. What I believe, practically speaking, if you read in the book, it is different than what you are seeing in the patient. Many of the patient, around 70% of the prolapse, they doesn't present as a prolapse, but some irregularity in the urinary voiding or some difficulty problem or some sexual problem. But incidental finding at prolapse is very, very common, which is not been said by the patient. But when the patient is obviously telling that, yes, I have something coming down and it is in between my thigh to make me difficult for a comfortable walk or sitting, whatever, that might lead to some discharge or bleeding, but initially it doesn't have a discharge and all. But when the patient is telling that, you have to, we normally we make the patient supine position, comfortably examine the patient, but in that way you can make the patient having Valsalva maneuver, but you can tell the patient if she doesn't know what is Valsalva maneuver, but she has to increase the abdominal pressure by coughing or sneezing, whatever. But the coughing, normally we tell the patient to cough violently, but that may not give rise to a the sign and symptoms of the prolapse, but you just to ask the patient in which conditions she is having the prolapse. She might be getting prolapse during walk, during sitting, squatting, all these things, but you have to make them in that position only to
And
make
then
it.
examine.
And many times what happened, consciously, when the patient is lying down the bed, patient consciously make a spasm of the pelvic floor. It may
She's
not be
not
overt for
comfortable,
that.
she's not relaxed in
You
front
make
of
it very,
doctors.
very appealing. Your gesture should be very appealing to see the thing. But many times with experience also, we may not able to see the prolapse. You can feel the prolapse. When you go for a digital examination, feel something very, very supple, very, very flexible anterior vaginal wall or posterior vaginal wall. But in that way, we fail to diagnose the wall prolapse or the apical prolapse. But anterior and posterior prolapse, like this, your cystocele or the high enterocele or high rectocele, low rectocele, it may, you can see or you can feel it. But the descent of the cervix and the uterus should be overt in a clinical examination. Whatever posture the patient tell you that she was feeling this problem in this exact posture, that's the best way to examine the patient.
So, ma'am, as you said, ki many times it is incident. Patient even does not come with a complaint of prolapse, but while on examine, we see cystocele, and it may be as big as actually grade 3, coming to introitus or just beyond the introitus also rectocele. So, how we should do this? Should we tell the patient what advice, what management part we can advise the patient?
If the patient is not symptomatic,
Symptomatic.
but you should make the patient aware of the thing.
Yes.
Okay, so that the initial part of the prolapse, you see stage 1, stage 2 prolapse can be revert back. Actually, why we may not believe that it does happen, but it happens because once it is stage 1, 2, in the inside the introitus, you see with the hypoestrogenism also, it is laxity we admit, but that also fibrosis.
Okay.
So introitus
Yes.
can get fibrous and keep the prolapse inside.
Yes.
So always it is not a mandatory that you will go for a test, but you
Surgery.
should make her aware that if it develop and it gives rise to some of the discomfort or the disability, then you can come back. But many times in the atrophic uterus and all, they get settled down with the atrophic sclerosing and also fibrotic effect of the vagina.
Okay. So, ma'am, in some cases, even while like young cases or even in the postmenopausal, it's the only prolapse of anterior and posterior vaginal wall. It's not the cervical descent. But when we take now, as the patient is always symptomatic, we have decided plan for the surgery. The patient is on OT table, and we do the anterior and posterior repair. But while on the OT table, we see the grade 1 cervical descent. Now, in both the scenario, if the patient is suppose a 35-year-old, she is grade 1, all conservative management have failed, or she has not opted for the pessary and other management. And then now, even in the postmenopausal, so 2 case scenario, when 35-year-old patient in OT with grade 3 cystocele, grade 3 rectocele, we have planned for anterior and posterior repair with grade 1 cervical descent. So, how we should counsel or what we should do at that stage?
For me, if you grade the level 1, 2, 3 prolapse, the majority time you have the mid and distal part of the vagina get having defect, not the apical. Apical prolapse is severe degree prolapse unless it is infravaginal elongation of cervix. It is a congenital, so but when the patient has apical prolapse, it takes time to develop and progress to coming to outside of the introitus. But the patient after delivery, she's always there defect in the anterior. So the level 2 and level 3 is more common than level 1.
Okay.
Right. So those patients who are symptomatic for the level 1, level 2, there are local defect, like the patient is 35, you see. The pelvic floor is quite okay, tone wise, everything. So she can have some exercises. I believe that it is not pelvic floor exercise, generalized exercise. Patients who have a whole body should have a good exercise manner, so that you can sustain the contraction of the pelvic floor also. It is not isolated. You see, you go on doing that, the Kegel exercise, it will not work. Patient, the mind from face onwards to your tip of toes also, patient should be very active to understand the what muscles to be contracted. In those cases, your patient is absolutely a young patient. She can do anything, everything. Okay, let her follow the patient every 2 to 3 months interval. How she is doing. If you are not following, she will forget to do. That is our whole motto. We do not want to under both any operation for that patient. So better to have develop that nutritional value of the patient. Lifestyle modifications is obesity. That is, if she is pre-diabetic or the family is diabetic and all, she is a prone case for diabetes. In those cases, if the patient has a good nutritional status as well as good physical activity, the onset of the diabetes, hypertension, everything get recede to around 10-20 years after. Okay, that is very good for the patient. So we are as a service provider, we have to make them aware.
We have the opportunity to do
and
that.
she will be, you see, if the patient has a CPT, suppose perineal tear, but because of the tonicity, the natural tonicity of the muscle can give
symptomatic immediately.
But once you will have a developed menopause and after 5 to 7, this is obviously this thing. So taking that into account, we should have a conservative management, develop a nutritional status, local muscle this thing, and all this morbidity factors has to be over.
Ma'am, we are diverting from the topic, just as you said, the CPT. This also one is a common, like patient has delivered but the tone is good. She's not having that frequent complaint. She is bothered but not that much, so she's okay with her lifestyle. So suppose after delivery she come to 2 to 3 years, on examination you find CPT, and we should offer operative management, yes or no? Because the late repair, as you say, after suppose 50 years also we see patients with prolapse and CPT has been developed during the delivery, but now she's symptomatic because the muscle tone has gone, menopause has been attained. So it's better to, when diagnosed, then only repair something like CPT, or wait till
CPT has to repair, because you see, you not able to know when you are passing flatus, liquid stool, always in a dicey manner, how to manage it. one thing is why actually CPT is not overt for that patient who has got injury during postpartum period. Okay, during that time, what happened? You see, the tone is very good. One, second, the patient is giving all opportunity not to go outside. She has an immediate toilet beside the room, and she is busy with the babies, and her muscle tone is good. In these three factor, actually, they deviate the person to be not to be symptomatic. But once the baby is grown up, and she is feeling that yes, the last 2 to 3 years I am not having controlling my bowel and everything, she will definitely come to you at least to see whether the surgery is required or not.
No,
In
then
those
we can
cases, the
go.
patient actually surgery is only been given not from you, but the patient should request you to get
Okay,
surgery
that's
done.
the most important.
Yes. Otherwise, everything get actually you do not know which area you are operating upon, and you will give a absolutely reverse result. Then what will do? Then
Got it.
we have all
Sort of
investigation
patience and
everything.
everything.
So once a CPT is diagnosed and it is symptomatic, you should
Repair
repair
it.
it. Yes. You should
Coming
repair
back to the same prolapse topic, the patient is symptomatic with prolapse, but it's very like on grade 2 cystocele and vault is like between grade 1 to grade 2, but she's very bothered by it. So, what we should do? First, we should offer a trial of 3 months compulsory conservative to her. What we say is, or she's like very much what she directly want to go for surgery, so we should go for surgery.
They always conservative management is the first.
Okay.
Whether she is symptomatic, asymptomatic, whatever. If your conservative management is failed or she is totally destined to have surgery done, unless you will not offer surgery for that.
Okay.
So the trial period is always 3 months, not
3 months.
beyond that. Okay. You can keep a pacer inside
Hmm.
so that she will hold the organ inside and she have a good exercise, because once the organ is outside, she will not do she will not able
Exercise.
to do the
Exercise.
exercise.
That's
Actually, the
very
perfect
true.
is not very perfect. Okay, so once you elevate the thing,
That's fine.
and she will feel what is the pelvic floor and I have to contact. With that, if she is happy with that, then let her continue with the pessaries. Pressure is a very good tool. It doesn't give rise to any sexual problem. It doesn't give rise to any pregnancy and all. Especially those patients who has not completed family, we usually give a pessary trial and let her have one baby, or she complete the family, then we come.
Then
We know that after doing the repair, even if you have a very good surgeon and you have done very good repair, but normally
Chances
vaginal
of-
delivery is not very good for the patient. We feel that because we cannot undo the things. Okay, so she should complete the family and then you go for repair. Patient, again the same principle, patient should request you to go
go
for
for the
operation.
surgeon. So
Otherwise,
that is, I think, very important. What ma'am is repeatedly saying, that the surgery should come from the patient. That patient should request for the surgery, and then
many
you-
times actually we put pressure on the patient. Actually, you might get patient after she has gone to several doctors, and it is in the mind that yes, I have to forgo my uterus. This repair has to be done. I will not have a vaginal delivery, and everything may be settled up. In those cases, in case you are the fifth doctors and the sixth doctor, there is nothing to more to tell. But you vomit out all your knowledge to the patient. Let her decide. Let her decide.
give the all the
Yes.
cafeteria approach
Yes.
to her. This is Ma'am, again we are diverting the moment. As you said, surgery should come from the patient. Now, in case of stress urinary incontinence, I think main modality is surgery. Conservative is even with surgery, the conservative concept. So, what do you do SUI? Because SUI, what we have seen in clinical practice is that many patients are not aware that there is surgery, or they ये तो समझ में आता है लोगों को कि शरीर बाहर आ रहा है तो उसका ऑपरेशन है, रसौली है तो बच्चेदानी निकालनी है. Like they don't know, but for SUI surgery and like it will be cured, they are very like. So how to go for this SUI surgery? Should we offer surgery? Tell what in that.
Still, I think mild to moderate doesn't require any surgery. Everybody
Okay.
knows. And if the patient, you make the patient aware of the muscles, and now the physiotherapy is very good. They make the patient aware. These are the surgery and electro stimulation and your biophysical. Everything is available surrounding you. So she should understand the thing, and she will be more than happy person when she conservatively she can manage herself, isn't it? So the rest part of it, if she is not able to, and second is that she is insisting you that the severity is more, and you feel that she is using pad. She is
Okay,
using
very
diaper.
severe, then we
The
should give her
severity.
the knowledge. The knowledge providers
Yes.
are also we. So we should
Then
make her
with
the
that,
awareness
even if
that what are the
you are
options.
going for a surgery, before that conservative management should not have been forgotten.
That is
Because-
continuous. That is something
Because
continuous.
after surgery also, this has
she
to
will
be.
require.
Yes.
Yes, that's only I said in SUI it is very important to have the consultation.
Yes.
And coming back to pelvic organ surgical management, now when we do, ma'am, typical stage 4 prolapse with uterus, anterior and posterior vaginal wall prolapse, in which cases conditions should the normal VH-AP repair plus McCall-Caldoplasty, any apical suspension procedure should be combined?
I feel if the cervix is coming to the introitus under
Okay.
anesthesia, she requires a little bit of apical suspension. If the cervix is coming to the up to the introitus, beyond that, it's prolapse case, and -1, -2 is the actually the dicey area, gray area. So once you do the vaginal hysterectomy, if it is required in a prolapse surgery, vaginal hysterectomy is not a absolute requirement. Okay, you can keep the uterus intact,
You
because
can-
even if
nowadays
patient
you
is
find
60, 70,
conservation.
80, who am I to remove her uterus? Why should I remove the uterus? If the uterus in situ, I can do a good repair, why not? Okay, in those cases when you have done the hysterectomy and you will feel that the vault is coming at least -1 of the introitus, then this is the area, not typical apical suspension. I feel McCall's Caldoplasty is the best method.
Okay.
We should not actually, we have modified the McCall's Caldoplasty.
That only next question I was about to ask.
We have modified the McCall's Caldoplasty. We are not going to have the in the distal part of the the uteruscular ligament, but you go at least 2 to 3 centimeters above the terminal
Okay.
part of the uteruscular ligament.
Not as high as in high uterine
High
ligament.
uteruscular-
Just
in
2
high
to 3.
uteruscular ligament, we usually
It's
go
almost
7,
5,
8, 9
6,
centimeter,
7, yes.
this much. But in a McCall's Caldoplasty, at least 2 to 3 centimeter beyond its insert to the cervix.
Just ischial spine level.
It's, you can
Just
come
below,
that
below.
because you see, if you, that is the, there are two sutures are internal and external. When you tie the one uteruscular ligament to the other uteruscular ligament, the uteruscular ligament automatically getting certain. Okay, certain, because you are diverting the uteruscular ligament to the midline. So naturally 2 to 3 centimeter of uteruscular ligament is gone because it's coming to the
Okay.
midline. Okay,
Very
it is
true.
brushing the POD, peritoneum, not to have enterocy. So you have internal McCalls. By that, the distal part of the uteruscular ligament is coming to the midline. Then your apex will go beyond that. Your
Okay,
ball
very
will
true.
go there. So that is the best method
Method
when
to
you
do that.
have a
So
after doing vaginal hysterectomy, it is coming to at least -1, 0 and +1. This is
when
best.
it comes.
And when it is coming beyond, the definite sacrospinous ligament suspension or uteruscular ligament suspension, it can be given to the patient.
So basically, just to summarize, in VH, when we do with McCall Caldoplasty, do it correctly. That is why I think message what ma'am want to give specifically. So when we come for the wall suspension procedure, which one to choose, or it should be the same, the patient approach cafeteria, because the patient does not have the knowledge. When even we try to say, because every procedure has its own risk and own benefits and this. So many of time when we tell the patient, even the patient is educated, the final statement is, ma'am, you decide whatever suits me. So it's how we should take the steps prerequisite. This point, go for this surgery and this.
Ball prolapse or apical suspension, which is coming to +2, +3, +4, it requires a surgery. But believe me, no one is expert in all sorts of apical suspension. Okay, but it should be. I should know
should,
how it is that,
to
but
this
everything. But keeping in mind, actually, I tell, if the surgeon is expert enough in all sorts of procedure, she or he is the best person to choose which prolapse has to be done in which way. We should not be dogmatic about our approach. Because this is best, I'll do. Nothing is best, but nothing is better. But the patient is okay, you are okay, isn't it? So if you go the vaginally, as a vaginal surgeon, I feel the same satisfaction being felt by the patient when we are going vaginally and when it is compared with the abdominal surgery. Believe me, if you see that in doctors fraternity, if they usually prefer the
Lap.
I defer. They usually prefer not to have a mesh inside. That is the
Okay.
thing. Okay. So even if you go for a test, also if a mesh is an option, okay. sacrocolpopexy
can
or
be done.
pectopexy, it matters. But for me, when you are putting a mesh inside, in compared to that the vaginally, you will also get that 7 to 8 centimeter length of the vagina. So for me, vaginal surgery is much better than abdominal surgery. Everybody agrees for that. If you going to the vaginal, then you have to see that if the patient is sexually active or not.
That is
That's the
one
main
more
thing.
important.
Previously, we are addressing upon more upon urinary tract and bowel. Now we are making more emphasis on the sexual activity of the patient.
Yes, that is.
So you have to give a good length of the vagina, full caliber of the vagina, and the nature also. Suppleness of the vagina should be there.
There. We should not
So
be
the facial like native tissue support will definitely give size to a better suppleness of the vagina. So if you can do do a uterus curl ligament suspension, then it is best. I think it is bilateral and it doesn't require mesh. And the beauty of the uterus curl ligament is that it is around 10 to 12 centimeter length, and it is very flexible. It can come to the midline, it can go to the lateral wall. So there is no tension on the vault. So you can make it united in the midline. You can suspend the both angle to that ipsilateral side. So all sorts of permutation combination you can do in the uteruscular ligament. But in a sacrospinous ligament, it's because of fixed ligament. You have to divert your vault to that ligament. Okay, and it will be fixed. Okay, and if the caliber of the vagina and the vault diameter is more, then you can go for bilateral, and if you not, then unilateral is good enough. And gradually it get adjusted, and the diameter, the caliber and the length can be adjusted. But in a
In
uterus
sacrospinous.
but in a uterus curl ligament, in compared to the sacrospinous, it's far better than this, provided it can be done nicely. And regarding your mesh repair, I think now people are doing Y mesh, which is going anteriorly very low and posteriorly also very low. But with that, I feel that you are maintaining the vaginal length, no doubt about that. But because of the long term, terminology has
Complications.
not been written actually anywhere, but I feel if you after 4 to 5 years you do a per vaginal examination, the suppleness is not there. It heals with fibrosis. So that suppleness is not there. But people whosoever is expertise in which way, they will definitely adopt the same procedure to all of the patients.
So one thing is that we should decide, and we should not be very firm or inflexible that we'll go only with this,
Yes.
which is there that thing. Second, sexuality is nowadays very important to ask in there. Ma'am, my one doubt is sacrospinous fixation. You said the unilateral and bilateral criteria is the caliber of the vagina, genital hiatus. I think you want to say that. So usually when there's a case of prolapse, it's usually broad. So we should go preferably majority cases bilateral or
You should
unilateral.
go for bilaterally because you have to make the vagina uniform.
Okay, that the deviation part.
Uniformly symmetrically placed vagina. But you see, when you go for the vagina to be removed from the uterus or the vault has been opened, you just mark it in 2 times. There's a stay suture has been given.
Yes, okay.
Seeing that what is your 2 finger on either side of the ischial spine.
Okay,
That length has to be
maintained.
maintained the vault. Okay,
Okay.
that point of the vault should go there. Otherwise, there will be lot of tension and it will get avulsed. It will not stay back. So in that way, keeping that into mind, people
High
are more
uterolagmism is better in
and
this.
also unilateral is better.
Yes,
Why you will
very
go
true.
for that
Bilateral.
problem? You go for the unilateral.
Natural.
But bilateral cannot be compared to the unilateral.
More
All
strength
the
and
like apart from uterus curl ligament, everything, you should have a tension-free suspension everywhere.
everywhere. Even
Everywhere.
if sacrospinous, everything.
Everywhere the same principle
Tension-free
prevails.
should be
Everywhere the same principle prevails, because once the vault will come in a tension and there is an intra-abdominal pressure, it will not stay back. It will give way within 3 months to 6 months. It will not. The recurrence of the prolapse usually 3 to 6 weeks.
Because of this
tension.
tension. So, ma'am, as a, for a beginner, if anybody want to learn, because रेसिडेंसी VH तक ही पहुंच जाए बहुत बड़ी बात है. वॉल prolapse we don't get it to do hands on, but after that once we have to learn and adopt this method. So which are various of this procedures, which one should start, or which is less risky. Means आप now you are expert, you know although, but for as a beginner, which that they should start with this.
You see, when you do a vaginal hysterectomy, or if you do abdominal hysterectomy, if you do a lap also, whatever hysterectomy you do, you can very well identify the uteruscular ligament, isn't it?
Yes.
From
very
below,
true.
from up,
Above, we can
everywhere
very
you
sure
can
the
identify.
V-shaped.
Have the knack, have the experience, how it feels, where it is, how it is
How
away
to
from the
trace
ureter.
it, how it feels.
You may
in
not hold the thing, but you should be very, very efficient enough to identify the structures. So once it is there, actually when I start my uteruscular ligament suspension procedure, all the VH cases, I just see the uteruscular ligament which is attached to the cervix and the vagina, and they hold it and just give a traction, see how it is going up.
Okay.
And then lab, for the lab experts, uteruscular ligament identification is not at all a problem. It will be seen
very
and it will
clearly.
be seen. But the contrast to our experience vaginal, the uteruscular ligament going above, like you upward, the ascent of the uteruscular ligament, which is going inserted to the coccyx and sacrum, there they cannot able to find it. So actually from below, you can hold the uteruscular ligament with peritoneum. Okay, but here when you hold the uteruscular ligament, they are very, very scared about the ureter. So nowadays they do ureterolysis. They divert the ureter away from the uteruscular ligament by giving a breeze in the peritoneum, in between uteruscular ligament and the ureter. So ureter is away. In that way you are safe. But from my practically, see, peritoneum is also has its strength and stamina. It is giving the adjacent more strong strength of the to the uteruscular ligament. Over that it lies. You see, if you insinuate a finger, you may not able to give make a breeze in the peritoneum, but you have to incise it. So peritoneum has also
its
very.
strength.
If you have a peritoneum along with the uteruscular ligament, you have a very, very strong hold of the appendage.
So basically, ma'am want to say start with uterosacral. When we do it,
Then how you feel the sacrospinous ligament? If you see that when patient is delivering, when the cervix is dilated, you feel the, you always measure the head station in regards
Ischial
to the
spine.
ischial spine. So feel the ischial spine and medial to that the sacrospinous
sacrospinous
ligament. But for me, I feel majority of the cases when the cervix is dilated fully, I give pudental nerve block.
okay.
Okay, the whole purpose of giving a pudental nerve block that we always see the patient in the level 2, level 3 support defect. Okay, the cervix has gone with fully dilated. Now the baby is descending. With that, it is just ballooning the levator ani muscle, and with that also the patient is contracting the pelvis. So there is a tussle between the pressure by the baby passage and the passenger, everything. So you did, our purpose is to anesthetize the levator muscle so that it descend nicely and give rise to a good delivery. So I feel everybody should have a knack of the ischial spine during that once it fully dilated, because beyond that when the baby is descending -2, -1 and you may not insinuate finger beyond the head of the baby to see the ischial spine. Once it is zero station, it's an engaged head, you can feel the ischial spine, then the ischial sacrospinous ligament, then you prick the perineum with the long this thing, your spinal needle, and see the track of the needle, and has gone to the ischial spine and deviate to the medial side. This is the ischial, this is the ligament. So when this is the feeling, right? You know this is the ischial spine. When there are many of the things you have a absolutely blunt, but if you knack up on that ischial spine should be here, it is there. Okay, so feeling the ischial spine and the ligament, is it under your control and absolutely under your domain, right? When you are doing a procedure of sacrospinous ligament suspension, we are going through the perineum, but now we are going through the vault.
Okay.
We just deviate you open the vault, deviate the epithelium, that is peritoneum, away from the full thickness of the vagina and go beyond that. Okay, you nothing other than ischial spine. Okay, then you divert your finger, feel the a ligament that is 3/4 centimeter towards the coccyx, and gradually you just make it raw, make it bare or naked. Once it is naked, you hold the ligament with the Alice forceps, and you can see the ligament in front of you and pass the suture. It is not that easy, but with the
Experience, with the time you can do it.
naturally, with the over the age, over the repeated attempt, you can able to see. And a sacrospinous ligament is the toughest ligament. Toughest ligament. You can see in a cadaver also the ligament is still there. No ligament is there, but the cadaver is sacrospinous. So sacrospinous is very, but the thing is that approach is difficult nowadays. The people are many devices to pass the sutures with that. So it is not a difficult job. And regarding the sacrocolpopexy, naturally it is a anterior wall of the sacrum. Have a longitudinal ligament and you have the approach that you need not to
open or
see, and you can't see before you are opening the peritoneum over the sacrum. That is no
So again, I think very good point. Like, we should be a good observer, and before being anything, urogyne, IVF, gyne, onco, anything, we all are OBGY, gyne obstetrician. So I think that is the one very good advantage. Whatever you want to be further, diversify the branch. I think we can, same principle we have to carry out, be a good observer to be a very good surgeon, be a good observer, be a good assistant, what we taught in the residency. So not to blame residency much. So ma'am, wall prolapse, one thing is this, how to consult patient again after wall prolapse, because patient also very fearful, वापस तो नहीं होगा. First, whenever it's there, the surgery के लिए बता दिया, we have informed, and again the question, वापस तो नहीं होगा. So how can you counsel, or what conservative management approach? Because many patients with, as you said, with prolapse, they are not able to do Kegels, and some are not willing to adopt for pessary, and those who have adopted may have some complication. That is also one of the factors. So how to counsel, and what measurement we can tell them to take preventive?
Regarding failure, actually, we all know that the failure is, if success is there, failure is definitely there. But majority of time over the year, with our experience, we know that the failure rate is coming down with the same surgeon. The failure, it lies absolutely on, not in the patient tissue and all, it is all bogus, but it is all the surgeon's hand. How they feel that the definite structure and everything, because we know our mistake with our last experience, and we modify our plan and planning. We see the other people doing the surgery, we see the good surgery and feel that how it is been. We feel that all surgery has its own advantage and giving a good lesson and all. But regarding the failure, actually the failure rate in a beginner also, it may be 1 or 10%. It's not much that. But previously what we are doing, actually we do not have a robust principle to have a prolapse repair. So the principle now, it has been established, and before we just make a vagina a pencil vagina of no use. Now we give a good caliber, good length and good suppleness to the vagina. We are more wise now, and what will happen after 20 years I don't know, but we are progressing very well. So regarding the failure, still I feel if you have somebody surrounding which knows the exact suspension, how to do, take the help of that, so that everybody knows that the first surgery is the best surgery to give rise to, but it doesn't happen all the way. Everybody has the problem, and failure is the one, is that if you have done a good surgery, you should not give any other advice to the patient, except one is avoid constipation and avoid sexual activity for 2 to 3 months. Apart from that, there should not be any restriction on activity, any restriction on the food and traveling and everything, if the surgery has been done nicely.
Okay, very wise, Miss Anne, and I've seen your surgery. I was very lucky to that also, to witness with surgery. So maintaining a vaginal caliber is something that I have never ever seen before. That's very nice, wiser point. And again, this way I come to the link that what is upcoming now is cosmetic gynae, which is like vaginal surgeries or cosmetic surgeries also, we can say, and aesthetically, just giving the wall prolapse surgery, also maintaining the caliber, what you said, it's as good as having a cosmetic. The feel the patient, it should not be tensed. That's, I think, very important lesson. Ma'am, now I got in many day back only, I got the opportunity to be with you and have. But what about many other on who want today? How they can learn it? As you said, it's not always possible. Even the beginner want to do the surgery. It's although not always the nearby on there. Even who are experienced on this, they have very good experience that they teach. Means teaching institutes are very common, or the surgeons who teach. So how we can read some books, or share some videos, how to get that knowledge, the feel of the tissue, how to have the enthusiastic mind, that how to get to learn the new things.
First of all, during your PG, so it's not exactly the prolapse repair also.
Any surgery,
Whatever
anything,
surgery you are
very
doing,
fine.
even in DNC also, you see very, but the how meticulous the person is, how
Be thorough with your concept and
the
everything.
injury to the patient should be minimal. Holding a service is also a art. Okay, everything has its own like very delicate way of dealing the patient. But you see, tissue respect is maximum. You cannot drag the tissue towards you, but you have to go towards the tissue only. Okay, tissue cannot come to you. Tissue is patient's tissue, so it should be there. By dragging that, you see, if you open the rectus sheath, okay, and you just drag it laterally, and there will be tear to the epigastric vessels, and there will be
Bleeding
the
and the-
fibers will get denuded and everything. Why not to cut it nicely and stitch it nicely?
They just try to pull and
Yeah,
get
why
it
to
lateral.
pull and push? There is no pull and push. But beyond that, if you are in a crisis, it's okay. Everything is
In a
acceptable.
hurry.
If you are elective case, you should see that how the bleeding will be less, how the tissue can be seen as a tissue,
Respect of the tissue.
and the
This is
structure
something.
are seen as a structure. So these are actually not by saying something or seeing something, but see from your beginning stage.
What you have
actually,
taught
see,
and
observe
something-
everybody how they are giving a
Handling
good,
the everything.
yes.
How to deal with
Yes.
patient, talk and explain.
Yes, all these things matter, but coming to actual prolapse surgery, it is little bit a higher surgery, higher grade of surgery, because it's cosmetically you are likely to give a good result to the patient. But nowadays knowledge is global. Everybody can approach anyone. You see, the YouTube and everything is so much. But we are not well versed because we are older people. But the younger generation, they're quite okay with seeing this thing. But my thing is
Life
that
surgeries.
not have much of a knowledge in our mind, but you should focus on that. I have to do this thing, and I have to do this thing for 100 in number.
Okay.
You
Quality
cannot do,
work,
you
focus,
cannot
not
be a jack
master
of
of-
everything. Okay, so particularly a particular thing, you know, after doing few of the 5 to 10 years of your experience and everything, you know that which area you are strong, which area you are weak. So you grab that thing
That thing.
and develop yourself. Doesn't matter what small thing, big thing, doesn't matter.
And, prolapse like never ending. We want to continue, but we'll stop for today. And it was very nice learning. Just a last, again, I would request you, just for the beginners, like always the fear for the surgery is the complication to a surgeon. And the one who has not done complication and not operated well. But for the beginners, I think it's more of them. So, what a message you would like to give to the online, how to deal with complication, not to panic, like what, because something complication is going to happen, and many of them they overcome the complication and some get a setback. Very true. I think many of them don't come beyond that. So what
And
just
actually, Mohini, from my beginning, when I was in a PG student, when I have off time, I even go to a neurology surgery, ophthalmology surgery, ENT surgery. I am really a passion towards surgery, but still I do not have any barrier. Yes, I will be in the obstetric gynae, because you see the people hand, how they move the hand inside, how they stitch it, everything matters. And I think I always in the second assistant in our this my guru Dr. P.C. Mahapatra, when he was the main operator, I am the third assistant, because I always scared what he is expecting me to do. So beyond that, I just don't, so that I observe more.
okay.
So I in the final year PG, I think my 1 or 2 cases I was the first assistant, or I was the primary surgeon also. But I see when you are not exactly in the area of surgery, you are observing more. So I do not believe in the hands-on, rather than observing a surgeon to do how she handled
That
the
was
tissue.
seriously the best message I have
And
ever
never
received.
been in the panic, one thing. And when you start your practice, be a good person. In the what sense? You help others so that they will help in your need. You never see that yes, I'll not go to that person, and no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't hold good in a humanity. You have to help others in their need, and ultimately you will get help in the crisis time. And from the beginning, you should have an expert in your place, and you also see that he or she, the expert, should love you to learn,
Learn.
not the exactly you complete the. It's difficult. As we are human beings, we do not have a time and we do not have a patience to teach. But many things can happen. You be the first assistant to the learner one, and have some. You scold her or him, whatever maybe. But ultimately, you should not be the first surgeon. She should be the first surgeon.
So you will learn more with that.
Yes.
Yes, boss.
Otherwise, what will happen? We have gone to a little bit away from our primary level, but we do not know how my kids are doing. So these are the problems. I should address those. I cannot put all my knowledge to them. It doesn't hold good to that a learning person. Na? You should know the what actually exactly she wants to know. Once she move her needle and the passing suture, whether she is comfortable, what is the problem of the sutures, how to all these things matters, and then after 1 year you see she will the master of you. Okay, so give a good pace to your juniors so that they will learn, because in the end of the day, you see, we will not take away our skill with us. Okay, we leave
We have
everything
to
skill
leave
here.
the,
Yeah.
teach the juniors.
So that you have a service to the mankind, and people should learn, and doesn't matter whether they memorize you or something like that, but your thing, whatever you leave it, they will definitely keep on giving value to that. Okay, the value addition is more important. Otherwise, it's the dead end of your knowledge.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a nice knowledge and wise words. It was lovely having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Till we meet the next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.